Okay, welcome back. This is Wayne Madsen with the Wayne Madsen Report, the Saturday Roundup, and we're talking to Renee in North Carolina. Renee, we're talking about how this new bunch coming into Congress is not going to be any better. They're going to be worse as far as the Wall Street shenanigans are concerned.
Well, some of them are flat out crazy. They're loony as a tune. And the thing is, no group is all one people. I know, even though I'm more progressive, I worked on the Ron Paul campaign. I met some people, like say, I'm still in contact, good people today. But I also met people and see, this is a big taboo. They don't want you saying this. Oh, no, if anything happens at a Tea Party movement, oh, it was a false flag. No. I've met some of these people, and that may be true in some instances, but some of them, they are racist, they are sexist, and some ways I know as a woman, if these people ever got power, I'd probably have less freedom than I have today, because they want it for themselves, but only white men. Okay, that's what they want to have freedom.
By and large, it's the same people that are on Wall Street, old white men. And
I agree with you. And the thing is, really, the more powerful white men have always had to indoctrinate the lower level white men to blame others so that they could get them to willfully, you go kill that heathen Indian. Well, they grew up in this culture as a type of person who always never sees himself at fault and always think it's that dark person or that feminazi. Yeah. They never see themselves as the problem. But look who's been driving the bus the entire 200 years. Who had the power? It was all white men. They drove this bus in the ditch, but whenever they do, they turn around, they go, you woman, you backseat driver, you made me drive the bus in the ditch.
Right. Well, I just hope Dylan Ratigan stays on, but with the Comcast taking over NBC, the CEO of Comcast is a big right-winger named Stephen Burke. We've probably already seen that play out with Keith Olbermann's suspension or firing. Depends on what you read, whether he's going to be back or not. So it's clear that MSNBC, which I think by and large has had all these kind of phony progressives on the air. Certainly Chris Matthews is nowhere close to being a progressive.
He's horrible.
Ed Schultz plays a game. He got MSNBC to pay for his leaving Fargo, North Dakota, and now he's sitting in Manhattan. And Rachel Maddow, of course, she's more or less a tool of the Democratic Party, which is the corporate wing of the Democratic Party. And so I see no future with any of these corporate media outlets. Ratigan is an exception, but I don't think he's going to last much longer there with Comcast.
And you're probably right, because remember, Jesse Ventura was on MSNBC, and they got rid of him. They had to still pay him because he had a contract, but they basically had him in a contract to keep his mouth shut, but got him off the air. And you see, last night he did a show on Wall Street also that will probably be available on the net soon.
Yeah, and also remember they got rid of Phil Donahue for the same
reason,
against the war. So yeah, they were owned by General Electric. Now they're owned by Comcast. It's all the same corporations. And I'm sorry, but guys like Ron Paul and Rand Paul are big on corporations. Corporations in their mind do no wrong, and where we need more government oversight, they're calling for less government oversight.
Well, yeah, the libertarians, and I said this, is actually, it was Bernie Sanders and, the guy on, I can't think of his name right now, and they had to agree with me. I said, I don't know why the libertarians aren't tickled pink right now, because we don't have regulation. We have the pretense of regulation where they pretend they're regulating, but they're not really regulating. So it's like, I don't know why the libertarians aren't really happy.
Right. I mean, they ought to be concentrating on these regulatory agencies that were taken over by Wall Street that did nothing to alert anyone about what was coming down the pike. And that's the Securities and Exchange Commission. You name it. Every single regulatory authority in this country has been taken over by the financial services industry, and that's why we're in this predicament we are today. And we need more government regulation, not less government regulation.
Exactly. We need honest regulators. The SEC was watching porn, and worse than that, we have about 250 of them in the Pentagon that downloaded child porn, and nothing's being done about it.
Right. And I mean, this whole thing about regulation. We need, as I said, we need more regulation. This bunch coming into Congress are going to basically, probably some of them are going to call for the getting rid of some of these agencies rather than beefing up their resources. And is this what the people that live in the tent cities that may have said, "Oh, I like this teabag movement"? Is this what they want? They're going to be continuing to live in these tent cities, but every single, and it was Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and the Housing and Urban Development Department. They all conspired in this huge ripoff, and I it's just amazing that the American people have been sold this bill of goods that they're going to get some kind of change. You think John Boehner, the next Speaker of the House, is going to countenance any sort of increased regulation? Of course, it's not even going to come from Obama. Obama said he was going to regulate, but he was a tool of Goldman Sachs, and he did nothing. He prosecuted no one. He did nothing. So really, we've got two sides of the same coin here. But that's what we're stuck with. But Renee, thanks for calling in, and we have a short break, and we'll be right back after this short break with the Wayne Madsen Report, the Saturday Roundup.